Use the given table to evaluate each expression in parts A through D if possible. You want to find A, f plus g of 3, B is f minus g of 6, C is f times g of negative 3, and D is f divided by g of 0. And we're using this table to the right. So here's our problem. So the first thing we want to do is we want to write out the definition. So the definition is going to be the following. We want to have f of 3 plus g of 3. Okay? So this x represents the input. And this is the function f, and that is the function g. So when we see that the input, okay, is 3, which is x, what is the output for f? Well, the output is 6. So therefore, we know that that is 6 plus, again, what is the input for g? Well, the input is 3. And then what is the output for g? It is negative 2. So therefore, we have 6 plus negative 2, or 6 minus 2, which is equal to 4. Let's go ahead and put our answer to make sure it checks. 4, and there's our result. Now let's try the next one. Okay, the next one, we have f minus g of 6. So that means we have f of 6 minus g of 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and change these highlights so we can do this correctly here. So now we know that our input is 6. So when our input is 6, what's the output for f? Well, it's 16. And then we can put that in there, so we know that f of 6 is 16, and then minus the input for g is 6, so what's the output? Well, it's 7. So therefore, we have 16 minus 7, which is equal to 9. So let's go ahead and put our answer to be 9 here. And there's our result. Okay, now let's take a look at f times g of negative 3. So the definition means that you're going to take f of negative 3, and you're going to multiply it by g of negative 3. Okay, so when the input is negative 3, the output is 0. And when the input is negative 3 for the function g, well, the output is 6. So 0 times 6 is going to give us 0. So the answer is 0. Let's put in our answer here. And there's our result. Now let's take a look at f divided by g of 0. So the definition states that we have f of 0 divided by g of 0. Okay, so what happens here? So when the input for f is 0, well, the output is 3. And then the input of 0 for g, the output is 0. So that becomes 3 divided by 0. So remember, the opposite of multiplication, the opposite of division is multiplication. So if you wanted to say, okay, 0 times what is going to give you 3? Well, there isn't a number. So that means that this would be undefined. So therefore, we have to look for that option here. So we do not have an answer, which means B is going to be the correct answer, which would be that it's undefined.